Good morning. Finally getting through the tasks on this bike. Today, dropping the oil out, the old oil. Don't know if you can pick it up from the video there, but it's looking a bit dark on it. I've never changed the oil on this bike. So dropping the oil out, pulling out the oil filter, putting a new oil filter in and some new oil. So it may not be totally in order how I've done these things. I've already done a lot of the bits and pieces on the bike and I haven't uploaded the clips yet to my YouTube site. But anyway, I'm drawing to a close. Basically got to do the engine oil and then check the drivetrain, clean and lube up the chain, and I'm pretty well done, pretty well ready to get this bike roadworthy and get it on the road and registered. Okay, engine oil. Commonly said, not just by me, but if you're only going to do one maintenance thing on your bike, it's regularly change your engine oil and the engine oil filter. And this is largely because, as I showed there, when your engine oil is looking a little bit dark, what that really is bits of metal and other products of wear from in your engine that actually become part of the circulating oil and tend to wear the engine even more. Some of them you can't even see. In fact, most of them you can't even see. It just looks like liquid, but there's little bits of metal and all sorts of stuff in there. So if you're going to do one thing in maintaining your bike, it's change the engine oil and change the engine oil filter. So that's the job for today. I'm going to heat the engine up first so the oil's a bit warm and flows better. Undo the sump plug under here, drop the oil out, take the engine oil filter off, put in a new one, change the sump plug washer, tighten it up to the correct torque, pop in some new engine oil. Now this bike uses a 15W50 viscosity specification. Particularly, you can look it up in the specs for the Triumph, but it's an API SL JASOMA2 specification. So got a 4-litre container here, and the actual capacity for this bike is 4 litres according to Triumph, so it should be perfect. Okay, I'll get to it. Start by warming up the engine and we'll get this engine oil heated up. Okay, that's been running for 5 or 6 minutes, and I think the engine oil is probably warm enough now to drain out well. Why do I think that? You might have noticed at the start that the engine oil was causing the rear wheel to rotate, and that's because this bike, unlike my BMW, which has separate gearbox oil and engine oil, the gearbox oil and the engine oil are all the same oil for this bike. And when the engine oil is cool, it's quite viscous and it tends to pick up. So that wheel turning at the start when you start the bike in neutral is not a sign that your clutch is slipping or something like that. It's just the oil within the gearbox that's picking up on the drive, and it's enough viscosity there for a start to actually turn the wheel a little bit. As you could see, I could easily stop it with my hand. But once the engine oil warms up enough and gets quite viscous, it stops having enough viscosity to turn the chain. And you can see generally that the wheel stops turning, and it's a good sign that the engine oil is ready for draining. Okay, so let's get that sump plug out and drop it out. Before you do this, Okay, at some point you get totally sick and tired of waiting for this to drain, and you figure good enough is enough, and you get yourself your sump plug, which I've cleaned up, and I also have a new crush washer here, and let me just put a rag down there to catch any bits that keep coming. So you reinstall your sump plug with the new crush washer, and you just tighten her up. So we'll just pop that up there now. Yeah. Finger tighten it up for a start. I'll just tighten him up a little bit. Just hand tight there first. Nice little wipe off. Okay, so tighten him up there, hand tight, and then I'm just gonna, I can't see any reason why not to tighten him right up now. The tightening torque for this sump plug is 25, so set your torque wrench and do the last bit. There we are. Okay, next, let's pop off this oil filter. Now that one that's on there is a Ryco 436. I just happen to have a little cup that fits under the bottom to help me get that one off because it hasn't got a nut on it. And I just need a 3/4 ratchet into there. Basically just loosen him off. And get your tub back under and just loosen that off the rest of the way, and be prepared to get a little bit of oil around the place. Doesn't hurt to have a few rags around. There we go. And set that guy aside somewhere and let the last bit drain out. Okay, so we got the oil filter out. Now look, you might call me anal, and that could be a fair comment, but if you look up underneath here, I can get up, there's a fair bit of muck and dirt around here, like particularly like around here. Like, I think you can see what I mean. There's grease and stuff everywhere that's just been, it's nothing too bad, but I like to keep all around, particularly where the oil filter and the sump goes, very, very clean. Very, very clean, and that's, I guess that's not just me being totally anal and just wanting everything looking good. If you've got a clean engine housing, and particularly around the sump, you can very quickly see when you've got any leaks. I mean, if you let your bike get really dirty with oil, you're never going to see when you've got something wrong going on. So there, that's my excuse for being anal. So I'm just going to give this guy a good clean now. Just going to get in with some degreaser and really clean that up before we put the new oil filter on and fill it up. So look, there we have it. Yes, I guess it's sort of like the Jordan Peterson equivalent to his 12 rules for life. Not make your bed, but clean your bike. You know, didn't take much out of my life. I spent an extra 5 minutes there with a bit of degreaser, and I've got a nice clean bike. Particularly on this bike when I'm going to put the fairing back on, and a lot of this stuff won't see the light of day between services. Okay, that's good enough for me. I just make particular care. the actual bearing surface where the rubber seal on your oil filter actually butts up against the bottom of the sump. Just give that a good clean with a clean piece of absorbent paper and some degreaser particularly, so that that has a nice surface on there to bind or to seal when you screw your new oil filter on, which we'll do now. Okay, my old oil filter here, this old Ryco 436, didn't have any nut on it. My new oil filter does, so I'm going to put it on a slightly different way. I don't know, you guys, I think most of the guys that have been following along with these videos are from the UK. I don't know whether you guys have the Ryco filters. I've been using Ryco oil filters on bikes for 30 years. And they're getting harder and harder for me to get. The latest one I was sold by the bike shop I've been shopping at for 15 years or so are now selling RP filters, RP race performance filters, which I'm told are every bit as good as the Ryco. So the one for this Triumph is an RP 204. So it comes with a plastic film on the bottom, and that's our first job to get that off. Now there's a rubber seal here that butts up against the bottom of the sump. So the first thing, I'll just get a little bit of engine oil and just smear it around there. That's largely to help you undo it, and so you can seal it up nicely. Okay, so I'll wind this guy on for a start. You've got a little threaded nut that comes out the bottom of your sump. So I'll find where that is just by feel. There we are. It's on there now. Now, I know there used to be an old rule of thumb that once you've tightened on your oil filter and the rubber seal has started to make good contact with the bottom of the sump, you sort of tighten it another 3/4 of a turn. But look, Triumph actually have a torque setting, which is 12 Newton meters. So, as you can see, the bottom of this oil filter's got an actual nut on it, welded onto it. So here's a torque wrench I prepared earlier. So I'll firstly just wind that up just finger tight with this regular wrench. That will do. Pop on my torque wrench, and we'll just tighten that up to the 12 Newton meters, which won't be much. So it's actually a lot less than most people expect. You don't need to tighten it very much. In fact, over tightening these oil filters can sometimes cause more leaks than under tightening. So there we are. It's not very tight. Doesn't need to be very tight. Okay, we've got our sump plug tightened up to the correct torque of 25 Newton meters, our new oil filter in place, lubed up and tightened up to 12. We're all ready. We're all ready to actually add some oil back into the sump, and then our job's done. So I'll get on to that. Okay, well, there it is. It's all done. Last bit is to put the oil filler cap back in and tighten that up, and that is just finger tight. Tighten it up like that. There's no torque setting on that, and the job's done. So you might ask, why did I do all these single loads of oil through a narrow neck jug like that? Why didn't I just put a funnel in and glog it in? It's a funny thing. It's just me, really. I don't know whether any of you ever read the old book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. It sort of captures a few things. Looking after your motorcycle has a spiritual element to it. I sort of treat it as a very, particularly filling up oil for some reason after I've done changed filter and sump plug washer and all that sort of stuff. Taking it slowly, just absorbing it happening, I like to do it. So sorry about that. If you like to just glug it all in, go for it, that's fine. But I remember one of the terms that the author of that book, whose name escapes me for the moment, he said that a mechanic's tools are a bit like the religious instruments of a priest in some way. Don't know whether that means anything to you. It sort of meant a bit to me at the time. It is sort of taking the time to do a good job and just savour the actual process of it has its own joys, apart from ending up with a bike that's functional and running well. Okay, that's all done. I'm just now going to turn the bike on, just run it for a little while, get the oil circulating, and then check the levels in here. There's actually a little bit left in there. I think they often overdo it. It says 4 litres, but I measured out 4 exact litres on here, and there's still a little bit left, and I don't think that's a mistake. I think they normally give you a little bit more, but you don't want to overfill your sump. So hence I'm going to run the bike a little bit and just check that the levels are looking okay. Okay, well, apart from that, thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. It's one of the easy jobs to do on your bike, of course, but nonetheless an important one. Anyway, take care of yourself, safe motorcycling, and see you another time.